Hi, everybody. We'll just give a minute or two for anybody just joining late to sign in.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We've got 4, 8, 12, 14, 13.
It's 25.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get going. And people will be able to join in. So just a couple quick sort of admin housekeeping things before we get started. We are recording so that people who are unable to make the meeting can watch it later. We'll just ask everybody at this time, you can turn off your video and just go on mute. If you have any questions later on, by all means, you can put the questions throughout in the chat throughout the meeting, or just turn your camera on and ask them when we get towards the end. But for the time being, just so we keep things stable, we'll turn our video off and we'll stay muted and we'll get underway. So I'm Jason Pratt. I'm the club manager of the Cascade Swim Club. Beside me is Coach Jackie. She oversees all of our developmental programs, including the Junior Olympic Wave program, which we're all new to this winter. So we're just going to talk about a few things that are a little bit different than what you than from the swim school program, what you've come from. In particular, the competitive aspect of what is the Cascade Swim Club. So we'll talk a little bit about what a swim meet is, how do I sign up for a swim meet, how do we get all the information to attend, and then what to expect when you're at a swimming competition. So with that, I'll turn over to Coach Jackie and we'll go through those items.
Okay, so we just have a couple things before Jason shows you how to sign up for a swim meet. But just going over, because you're all sort of registered in different groups right now. And I was just going to go over who your coaches are. So the Monday, Wednesday groups at Canyon Meadows, it's Coach Helena. The Tuesday, Thursday groups at Canyon Meadows are Coach Izzy and Coach Maddie. The Monday, Wednesday group at Seton is Coach Izzy and Coach Avery. And the Tuesday, Thursday group at Seton is Coach Yasmin and Coach Sophie. So when it comes to swim meets, depending on how many kids we have registered for the meet, we always ask some of our junior coaches to come and help at the meet. So at the swim meets, there'll be more bodies to help us there. And so that would be our swim school coaches coming up to give us a hand. Everyone should know their practice times and that sort of thing. I just wanted to quickly go over equipment. So new for you, jumping from swim school to JOW, is the snorkel. So obviously everyone needs a cap and goggles. If your swimmer is not a fan of the cap, it is good for them to practice with a cap because they will all need to wear a swim cap at the swim meets. So we do recommend that if they haven't been wearing a cap so far, certainly this would be a nice time to start. They should all have fins. And the other thing is the kickboard. So probably at Canyon Meadows, it's not as big of a deal, but when they get to Seton, they will need to have their own kickboard. And of course, we want you to make sure you label everything. The swimmer's snorkel is something new for them. And the JOWs are going to start using the snorkels quite a bit. So it is important that everybody has one. You can get them at Team Aquatic Supplies. And just for clarification, it's a swimmer snorkel, not a diver's mask and snorkel. So their nose still needs to be free to blow bubbles. So it's just the snorkel piece, and it sits on a piece sits on their forehead, and there's a strap. So you can get those at the swim store. And quickly for swim meets, they will require a swimsuit.
Sorry, can I just jump in there on the team equipment and gear? So you may or may not be aware, but everyone is aware of all the supply chain issues that are out there with just in general. And if you've been at the grocery store over Christmas, you'll see there's been a run on cornstarch, and there seems to be a worldwide shortage. There's also a worldwide shortage on swimsuits. And for us, we've been really challenged. We've had suits on order for the last 2 years. We're just getting them all in. We did get a bunch in, all in the late fall, right before Christmas. So I know that I've had a query as to, do we have our size? Can we just come in? The physical office is not open until next week, but if you already know what size of swimsuit your swimmer is in, just shoot a note to the office and we'll make sure that we have it, and just save yourself a trip coming down to the pool if we don't have your particular size. So, but we are getting resupplied here this month with a brand new stock of suits. So if we don't have it, next week when we're open, we certainly should have it by the end of the month and before you do have your first swim competition. So
great. Yeah. And I mean, office hours are a little bit limited. So like Jason said, call ahead and sort of plan for Ella. It works in the office, and she'll help you sort of arrange to maybe set one aside for you so you can have a quick visit to the office. But yeah, I mean, ideally we want everyone to have a Cascade suit when they race at the meets. They'll also be required to wear their Cascade cap, as we mentioned before. They will all get a t-shirt. So that comes from me, and I'll pass it down to the coaches at their practices. So they'll have a t-shirt before they race. And then just a quick mention, like sometimes when they're transitioning from swim school to junior Olympic way, some of the boys in particular are still wearing board shorts. So this is a really good time to weed them out of the board short and into a training jammer or a brief. And they probably will find it to be quite different and a lot easier, less drag to swim in. So if we could work on that, getting them out of their board shorts, that'd be great. Did you want to go over the office hours, or just?
Yeah, sure. Just you can see on the screen office hours. There are people there at other times, but there is always somebody there from 10 to 2 on Tuesdays and 4:30 to 7 on Thursdays. And calling ahead is good. Sending an email because everybody gets those remotely is probably better and more efficient in terms of the time it would take somebody to get back to you if you miss your call, because we're only in the office checking messages on those days. But send an email and someone will be there. If you don't know already, our office is in the MNP Community and Sports Center, which was formerly the Repsol Sports Center, formerly Talisman Sports Center, formerly Lindsay Park, and it's just south of downtown. So yeah.
Okay, you want to do that part now?
Yeah, so okay, we talked about, let's just go.
If questions come up, you have questions during the meeting, please put them in the chat and we can try and address them as we go too. Yeah, and the meet, did you want to talk about the meet schedule before we go to? I can, yeah.
Just because we're on the Olympic Way one, so it's the same, right?
Almost the same, yeah.
So we're just showing you the Olympic Way meet schedule, and Junior Olympic Way is pretty similar.
I did email the list of meets to you guys before Christmas, but I'll just quickly go over them again. So we do have one coming up fairly soon, and that's February 4th. So is that on?
It's not the Mavericks one is listed, but it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is This right now, this swim meet has two titles. It's either Crazy Hair or Crazy Hat. And so this is a fundamentals meet that is happening. University of Calgary is hosting this meet at the U of C University pool. And it's on February 4th. I did look at the information today, and it's a half day. So I believe warm up is at 12 and the estimated finish time is 4:30. And that's typically what Junior Olympic Way swim meets are looking like half day sort of sessions like that. Most of the meets you're going to be doing at this level are fundamentals meets, meaning the kids attending these meets are, racing their first time or first few times. And the meets are sort of designed around that. So they offer, you can race 25-meter races, which is probably what your swimmers are going to do for their first meet. They might even just do one race. It will depend on, how the coaches feel about where they're at when it comes time to do the entries for the meet. But, they're probably going to start out with a 25 free and a 25 back for their first swim meet. So we want them to experience success. And so we just, there's a lot of stuff going on at the swim meets. Do you want to show them how to
Sign up?
I'll go through the meets real quick, and then Jason will show you how to sign up, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the actual meets. But so we have February 4th, that's Crazy Hair or Crazy Hat. The March 11th, this is our meet, and it's hosted at the Seton YMCA. That's March 11th. The April 22nd, 23rd meet is another University of Calgary hosted meet, and that's called Dino Cup. And this is a big 10 and under meet. And it's again at the University pool. And Junior Olympic Way will probably do one of the days here, and I will confirm ahead of time which day they will do. So we'll probably just put them in for either a Saturday or just a Sunday, depending on what the event schedule looks like. I haven't seen it yet. We'll decide on that. And then May 6th, 7th, this will be their first 2-day meet. So this is, again, we're Cascade hosting this one. And it's just our spring fundamentals meet again at Seton YMCA. And then their final competition will be Thursday, June 1st. And this is a Cascade hosted meet. It's the second part of our mini pro series. And so they actually race on Thursday evening. So it's down at MNP, and it's long course,
yep.
Right? And the kids will be racing long course, which means they'll be racing in the 50-meter pool. And they will probably do 50 free and 50 back at that meet. So that's how they'll wrap up their competition schedule for the year. And then I think they swim until the 12th of June or something like that. So they have a week or two after that, and then they're done. Okay.
Great. So, and just like Coach Jackie was saying, all these meets, even though they're listed as, perhaps 2 days, it's about a 4-hour day at the longest from the time warm-up begins, warm-up ends, racing starts. We're talking between 3 and 4 hours. So even the May 6th, 7th, the 2-day meet that we're hosting, it's a Saturday afternoon, Saturday mid-morning, early afternoon, and then Sunday morning to finish up. So, but we'll go over that quickly here in a second. So how do you sign up for a swim meet? It's all done through our website. And when you get, I'm just going to pull one up for you. So I'm going to show you what we call a meet information sheet. Here we go. And so we don't have your first meet ready in February to share with you. So I'm just going to give you an example of another one, which it has all the same information. So it will be fine for our purposes here. Okay, so what you see in front of you is a PDF document. and we call these the meet information sheets. So for this year, what we're looking at is a meet that's happening at the end of January. It's not at an event that your swimmers are at, but what comes in the meet information sheet is the name of the event, the dates of the event, travel, which is not applicable, gives you the pool location. If it's a pool that is not something that we are familiar with, we would have, the exact address and so on. Who the host club is. In this particular event, you're looking at something that another team is hosting, another club is hosting this event, the Calgary Patriots, and gives you their website. Here it shows you which swimmers are attending. This is a by group. So for this particular event, it's Olympic Way, JAG Blue, JAG Gold, and the championship program. A sheet that you would get for your swimmers would indicate JOW. Any event that lists JOW is for all the JOW swimmers to attend, unless there's some specific note on it that says whatever it may say. Below that, it shows you the meet time. So this particular competition, the Pugsley Plunge that Patriots are hosting, is 2.5 days. It is a Friday afternoon. You can see the warm-ups at 3 for a 4 p.m. racing start. And then it is Saturday. There's a morning session, an afternoon session, and then Sunday. Again, that's not really relevant for you and for this level. Yours would ordinarily be one line saying Saturday, whatever it might say, 11 a.m. warm-up for 11:45 racing, finish at 3 p.m. Okay. There's some information there below, which for you and JOW is not relevant, which is officiating. I want to help out at this meet. You don't have to worry about that at all. Then it lists you what the meet entry fees are, just so everyone is aware and it's clear. Attending a competition is not something that is included in any of our swimmers at any levels fees. It's always a little bit extra. So the details of what those costs are to attend are always listed on the meet information sheet. In this particular event, it's costing the swimmers who attend $13 for each race that they swim, and then there's a surcharge. For the meets that you attend, it's typically an $8.50 charge per event, and maybe a $5.
Sometimes it's a flat fee too.
Sometimes it's flat, but whatever it is, it will be listed there so that there's no surprises. Okay,
And that's something that gets billed to your.
we get billed to your account. Okay, below that, you'll see something which we call a confirmation deadline. It just means when you have to say yes or no by, and this is the date. So this event is January 20th, so 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks in a day. And our deadline to sign up was Friday, December 2nd. So it's about 6 weeks ahead. This is actually quite early. We normally don't worry about it so far in advance. It's only because of the timing of the Christmas break of our program and the difficulty in putting entries in late. Again, nothing you really need to worry about, but what's important is in bold red there, the deadline that says you have to say yes or no by a certain date. Okay. And then the information below, typically not relevant at this level, and this would be something that refers to estimated travel costs and so on. This is for swimmers at a higher level, a more advanced level that travel to competitions outside of the province or outside of the country in some cases. So, okay, but so that's the information that you get, and you'll get one of these every single time we are looking to put your swimmer into a meet. It will get emailed to you. If inside the email, you don't click on the link to follow through and say yes or no right away, no problem. You can always find this information on our website. And this would be where you would go if you wanted to follow up and say, oh, whatever, I misplaced the email, I can't find my sheet. Where do I get this information? So on the website, if you scroll down the front page, you'll see something here called swim meets. You do have to be logged in to see some of this information. So just so that you are aware, the public sees it a little bit differently than a member who is logged in. But let's look at this meet, which is the Edmonton Open, only because it's one that's got a deadline coming up shortly. You'll see here, attend or decline. Click on that. It's going to ask you to sign in. And so you sign into the web page. And then yours will look slightly different, but it's going to take you to what you see here, which is athlete sign up, Edmonton Open. Below it lists your athlete. Ours lists this swimmer here. You just click on his name. And it's going to say for this meet travel. I mean, again, the information that pops up here is different for every single event, but in this particular case, it's saying travel on your own and commit yes or no. Yes, please sign up, Cole, for this event, or no, thanks, Cole will not attend this event. So whatever it is that you're going to say, yes or no, we really encourage you to say either yes or say no. And the reason for that is so that coach is able to look and look at her roster, his or her roster, and see, oh, 10 swimmers have signed up. My group is 12. Did 2 of them say no? Or did potentially 2 of them forget? Did they not get the information? So on and so forth. It's better to see 12 swimmers, 10 of them saying yes, 2 of them saying no, than only seeing 10 swimmers that say yes. So the point being, whether it's yes, whether it's no, and there's a million and one reasons for either, just say one or the other. And yes, press save. Okay. So this is very important because I can say yes, I can say no. That actually doesn't do anything unless you go down and let's just say yes in this particular case. And you click on this down at the bottom of your screen where my cursor is circling that says save changes. And then you'll go back to this sort of home screen for the event, and you'll be able to look at your swimmer's name, and you'll see, in this case, committed. You can change your mind. It's not a problem up until the deadline, and you can say no. Click on save changes. And then all we will see here beside your swimmer's name now, Cole, is declined. Okay. So one thing that you can do, and where this becomes more relevant than not, is when we do attend 2-day events, and you've got one coming up, let's say May 6th, 7th, and we're hosting it. It's a fundamentals meet. So that is Saturday. Warm-ups at 11 and it goes till 3, and then on Sunday warm-ups at 9, I believe, and it goes until 1. It is a 2-day event. You could be away at grandma's 85th birthday party on Saturday afternoon and not attend, or another sport, or Sunday morning, but you could go one day. All you need to do is in the notes say can attend Saturday, but not. Okay.
Okay.
But you get the idea. Can attend Saturday, but not Sunday. And then you just click on, again, save changes. Because what the coach will see on their list is they're going to see a list of names, events, but they'll also see a note section. So let's just go down to the note that I left at Cole. So here's Cole. Coach is going to look and see that he's signed up, but on the notes section, it pops up saying can swim Saturday, but not Sunday. So again, that is important when they're doing entries, because if you'd like to go, but you can only attend part of it, it really does help for that information to be there. Okay.
The other thing is sometimes you might have another commitment and you're going to be late for the meet. And we can, if we have a little bit of flexibility, sometimes we can maybe enter you in an event that comes later in the meet,
Yeah.
instead of, so that you can get there on time.
Yeah.
So that communication is really important. And then don't forget to press save, because we have experienced that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We've had swimmers that can't attend meets because they thought they signed up, but they didn't press save, and so the entries weren't submitted. And so it's not ideal.
And so that's why it's important to pay attention to that deadline, because, those deadlines are not an arbitrary date that we create. There's a certain day in advance of the actual competition where the club has to have their entry lists in. As I showed you the example of the Pugsley meet, Calgary Patriots, we have to have our entries to them. In this particular case, it was on the 4th of January. So your deadline is going to be prior to that. And then once we send them in, then we're good to go. There is also, and just so everybody is aware, typically they'll have a entry deadline and a scratch deadline. When it is, if your swimmer is sick, or out, or you change your mind, or something comes up, we're not usually able to get back those entry fees once it's past the entry deadline. So if you tell Coach Jackie or Coach Helena, or whomever it happens to be, you're going, you do that through the website, you say, yes, we send our entries in, something happens 2 days before the meet, you can no longer go. Just so that you are aware, you do not get your entry fees back at that point. When it is our event and we're hosting it, we have a little bit more flexibility, but there's still a cutoff deadline at which point you're not able to get your entry fees back. But again, for us and our events, we have way more flexibility. When it's hosted by another program, it's dictated to us, and we don't really have any say in that. So just so everybody's aware.
Any questions so far?
And by all means, put something in the chat if you do have a question. We'll keep checking that.
Okay, so we'll just quickly move on here. So just a couple things. Many of you maybe were competitive swimmers, so you have an idea of what to expect at a swim meet, but it is going to look quite different from regular day-to-day practice, especially for the kids who are coming, I feel, from Canyon Meadows, because a lot of the meets will be at the Seton Pool. And Seton is a much larger facility, and it can be a little bit intimidating for them coming from Canyon Meadows. We typically do try to get the kids over for a practice at Seton before a meet. And so we will, I will coordinate that with the coaches and communicate that with you if we are able to do that. So normally, when you arrive at a swim meet, the pool deck is going to be very busy. And so that alone can be a little bit intimidating to the kids. We kindly ask that parents, you drop them and the coaches will meet them on the pool deck. We don't allow parents to be roaming and escorting kids out to the swim meet. So the coaches will greet them on the pool deck. They'll be able to spot them and find their team. And we'll kind of take them from there. So it's really important, especially if the kids are just a little bit nervous before coming to their first event. You know how it goes when mom and dad are right there. Sometimes the tears can start to flow. So, all of our coaches were competitive swimmers, every single one of them. And so they get it. They've been there, they've been through it, and they're really, really good at managing the emotions of these little ones. Sometimes many of them will come out and be completely fine. Some of them will be nervous. And so we try and get them through that. And again, we just ask that you try and give us our space so that we can help them through that.
Just
Yep.
quickly, because there is a question about the upcoming meet.
Oh, yeah.
So the entry deadline will be January, somewhere between the 12th and 16th. It'll
Good.
probably be the 16th that we'll ask. We haven't sent that one out. And what we normally like to do is we like to have this meeting first, rather than send you the information
And then
and
you'll
you
have
have no
questions.
and you have no idea why you're getting this document. Is we have this meeting and then we send you the information. So we'll probably send this to you on Monday or Tuesday next week. So on the 9th or the 10th, you'll get the information, and then you'll have a little bit less than a week to get back to us. So
To declare.
to
yeah.
declare, and that will be on the 16th of January will be the commitment, the deadline to say yes or to say no.
Okay, so I'll just carry on. So again, at the swim meet, there will be a lot of kids, a lot of backpacks. Everyone sort of gathers into the bleachers. We do a little team activation. They actually get in and do a warm up. And then they'll do a team cheer. They'll have to get their cap and goggles ready, and their coaches will organize them for their first race. So there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot going on. And so that's why, we'll only enter the kids in maybe 25 free and 25 back for their very first event. And maybe if that's enough for them, they might just do that for the first few meets, until the coaches feel that they're ready to do a little bit longer race, maybe a 50 free and eventually 25 breaststroke, that kind of thing. They're probably not going to race any butterfly this year, but in JOW, they do start to learn how to swim fly. It's pretty fun and exciting. And yeah, so, not to be overwhelmed. And I think my best recommendation to parents at this level is keep the conversation fun and upbeat, and just ask the kids to have fun out there with their buddies. I think most of the kids will find this is when swimming really gets fun, when you get to socialize with your friends on the pool deck in between racing. Normally they don't get a lot of that at practice. Their faces are in the water, and so they probably only get to chat in the change room on their way home. So this is really when it starts to get fun. They work hard at practice, the back and forth. And so this is they get out there and race. It's very exciting. What to pack for swim meet. So they will require clothing that can be worn on deck in between racing, so it is going to get wet. So we always recommend that you pack long sleeve, a long sleeve hoodie and sweatpants. They can throw their Cascade t-shirt over top. It's really important that they stay warm. If you're able to get your hands on a swim parka, that's perfect. The parkas can come on and off really easily, and they can stay warm in between racing. Seton, not so much, but MNP is very cold on the pool deck, and the water's probably going to be a little bit cooler too to race in. And so, we really want the kids to stay dressed in between their races. So yeah, just pack clothing that can get wet with an extra set of clothes to wear home. For snacks at the swim meet, keep it simple, keep it something they can just eat in small bites, something that is maybe high, will give them immediate energy, and not heavy sandwiches or anything too outrageous. We do kindly ask that you don't pack muffins, because it makes a big mess on the pool deck, and the lifeguards don't like that. So something that's just really simple and they can pop in their mouth, nothing too heavy. And you don't have to go crazy and change their diet for breakfast before the swim meet. Keep things what you normally would eat on a normal day. It's not too complicated. Just keep it simple, and obviously have their water bottle. That's important. They don't have to bring their swim equipment to the swim meets. So when they come to the swim meet, you can keep the fins and snorkel in their equipment bag at home. Just make sure they have goggles and cap and an extra pair of goggles, because we often have goggle malfunctions, and this can be this can cause tears if their goggles break right before a race. So it's always good to have a spare pair. And the coaches will always have extra swim caps. So if their swim cap rips, we can give them one. What else? One other thing I would just recommend is, if many of you are coming from a swimming background, it's really important that you're not offering the kids coaching advice before the swim meets. There's, like I said before, there's so much that they have to learn here. Swimming is very technical, and every stroke has different rules that they kind of have to follow. And honestly, for some of the kids this age and this level, just getting to the right lane at the right heat is going to be enough for them to try and figure out and manage with their coach. And so we often find that if if the mom and dad are offering swimming tips, that they get behind the blocks and they don't know what they're supposed to be thinking. My coach said this, my mom and dad said this. So it's just really, at this level especially, keep it fun, keep it simple, just high fives and get out there and have fun with your buddies. And that's sort of, the energy we're kind of sending to the kids as well. And so we just want to make sure they have a fun and successful experience, and it's not too overwhelming is the whole idea. Okay. I was just going to touch on DQ. So it's going to happen and just be prepared for it. So, and I will send the link. There is an app you can get called Meet Mobile, and you can follow your swimmers' events, their entries and their results on Meet Mobile, and it will kind of pop up in your phone. So just now I lost what I was going to say.
So DQ, and
DQ, yeah.
DQ is short for disqualification.
Yeah. So with swimming, there's lots of rules they have to follow. For example, this would be a common DQ for a JOW swimmer would be swimming 25 back. And when they race backstroke, they must finish their race on their back. They have to touch the wall on their back. Many little kids will forget and roll onto their front when they get to the end of the pool. And so that's a disqualification. So when you check your Meet Mobile, you're going to see that your swimmer was there. It'll be say DQ, and they won't have a time. So obviously our goal is to not have anyone DQ, but like I said, there's a lot going on. They're learning lots, and just expect it. Don't be frightened when you see that. And the coaches will do their best to communicate to the kids what they did wrong. If they know, usually it's pretty obvious what's happening. Sometimes we don't always see it, or sometimes we don't always get communicated by the officials. But we'll do our best to talk to the kids so that it's a learning experience, so that the next time they remember how to do it properly. I think that's it for.
Yeah. So there's a question here about with the first swim meet coming up in February, and just as Coach Jackie said, making sure that everybody we enter into a swim meet is ready for a swim meet. Is that enough time? And I could say that probably the default answer is yes, that they are ready. And that's sort of the reason why they're put into the JOW group, is that we feel they're ready to move up, take that next step, and ready to participate in competition. Now, that being said, there are always exceptions, and that's not a big deal one way or another. But yes, it's plenty of time from now until the entry deadline starting next week. And then before the swim meet, we ask you to say yes or no for the coaches to make a determination if they are not ready. But you should have a default understanding that yes, they are ready, and that they all will be asked to participate in that first meet.
And like I said, and the coaches will let me know right away what they want the swimmers to race in. And again, if they only come and race one race, at least they have the experience of how it goes, how they find their lane. And believe me, we'll have lots of help. So the kids are basically escorted to their lane by the coaches, and they'll remind them of what they're doing. And, it's, we don't want to throw them into anything that's going to be so overwhelming that they hate swimming. So obviously that's never our goal. So yeah, it is coming up quick. I understand that. And I have talked to the coaches about this. And so again, we will keep it very simple, very basic, their first go. But like Jason said, if you get the sense from your child that it's not happening on February 4th, that's okay. You can decline this one and we can do the next one. So that's completely your call. Is there anything else?
I don't think so. So, swim meets is the part of the program It is different from everything else that you have been doing up until this point. Signing up for a swim meet is no more complicated. It's easier than registering for the program that you're in. So there's not really any worries there. It's just the whole swim meet event in itself, getting used to that. It is something that's different. It's not any different than any other amateur sport where you're gone for a couple hours. You're attending and competing with, as Coach Jackie said, kids all at the same level, whether they're with the Calgary Patriots Swim Club, University of Calgary Dinos, Nose Creek, any one of those clubs. If you're going to the fundamental summit, Crazy Hat, if that's what the name ends up being, at the beginning of February, your swimmer will be up and competing against swimmers all at their same level. So there's not really any sort of concern there, and they are all learning at the same time, just as your swimmers are all learning at the same time. And as Jackie said, there's all of the coaching staff are former, some of them are even current swimmers, so they've all been through it. They all have a very good understanding of how it all works, and can help guide and direct your young swimmers through their very first swim meet. So it shouldn't be too much of an overwhelming experience for them.
I will just make one comment, because this did come up in the fall. We have a group called Swim Fit in our program, and it's essentially, swimmers who are at the same level as your swimmers, but they're older. So they came into swimming a little bit later. And so again, they will also be attending these introductory meets, but these kids are, 10 and 11, some of them 12. So we did have an experience in the fall where an 11-year-old was racing a 6-year-old, and that was only because their entry time was the same. And so when the coaches do the entries for these meets, until your swimmer gets a time, an official time, we have to sort of estimate a time for them before the meet, so that they can create heats. So just so we don't want anyone to be alarmed if you have a 10-year-old beside your 6-year-old racing their first couple of meets, until they get some times, it sort of looks that way. And it doesn't mean that they're, faster. It just means that they're at the same level, and they just happen to be different ages.
Yeah. And so the circuit that all of your swimmers compete on is something called the Swim Alberta Fundamental Circuit. So it's all novice level swimmers 5-6 years old at the young end, all the way up to 10, 11, 12 at the older end, but all relatively speaking at the same level, which is novice level. And when you go to the meet, it's not typically divided by age, nor is it typically divided by gender. It's 25-meter freestyle, everybody go, and the swimmers are all divided by time. So when they're all novice, as Jackie said, you could have a 6-year-old racing an 11-year-old, and at this level, that is not relevant whatsoever. It's really about getting the experience of getting in and getting racing and then learning from there. As they get a little bit further advanced, they then will start competing. It will be by age and gender, and event specific as they go through it. But this level, it's basically everybody all in at the same time, divided by estimated times. So sometimes those estimates are off. Yeah.
And just to follow up with, most of the kids at these meets are going to be the ages of your swimmers. They're not like, there's not very many that will attend these meets who are 11 and 12. It's a little bit rare. Any questions or comments about that, or the DQs? Or I will follow up with you. I always send an email before a swim meet, just with swim meet reminders of time to be there, what to bring, where the meet is. Just I typically do that 2 days before a meet or the day before the meet. And as far as entries, we didn't talk about that. So when Jason showed you how to sign up for a meet, there were some options that listed events on the page. And if you see that, please just disregard. All you're required to do is declare your swimmer yes or no and press save. Just those two things. Do not select events because the coaches will do that. And if your swimmer would like to try 50 free, or, you know, as they go and experience more meets, maybe they want to try 25 breasts for the first time, you can leave us a note in the notes section, which Jason showed you how to do that. Or you can always send me an email saying, you know, my swimmer would like to try 100 free. You know, is it possible, or that sort of thing. So just send those requests my way. And when I organize the events, the entries with the coaches, I can ask Coach Izzy, is the swimmer ready to do 50 free or 25 breast or whatever it is that you want to try? So by all means, ask the question. If someone would like to try a different event, you can do that.
But I think that probably at this level, you don't, as Jackie said, you don't need to worry about that whatsoever. Everybody's, for the most part, all going to be swimming all the same events at each event competition that they go to. You'll likely see every single one of the 26 swimmers that have just moved up into the JOW program come the first meet. They'll all swim the same 2 or 3 events, whatever that case might be. They'll all swim 25 free, 25 back, and 20 and 50 freestyle as an example. It might be slightly different, but at this level, they're almost always all swimming the same events at the same time. So
one other thing I just thought of, some of the kids at this level are still not quite diving, you know, properly, and that's okay. We do at this fundamentals level, it's not a problem for the kids to jump in the pool. You know, if they're not quite ready to go off the blocks, they can dive off the bulkhead, which is beside the blocks. So you know, just there's lots of flexibility that way. So we don't want anyone to feel overwhelmed if they're not diving off the blocks yet. That's fine.
yeah, so I mean, that was pretty much it, I think, for the meeting. And, you know, by all means, as we're sort of closing here, if any questions, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat, or if it's something easier just to come off your mute, by all means, go ahead and do that. There is a question here regarding this. And so we did record this for just that reason, in case you know, your spouse wasn't able to see it, or you come onto the meeting late. We will put this recording up. We'll put it up on the Cascade Swim Club YouTube page, and you'll be able to go and find it there. We'll shoot out a link.
I will send you the link in an email.
Yeah, so it'll just be a day or two before we put it up, once the recording is done. And then, as I said, you can go and share it with somebody who missed the meeting, or if you came on late, or if you just wanted to review something you weren't quite sure what was said, it'll be up there. So
yes, and then just watch for that swim meet information coming out next week, and declare your swimmer yes or no. And again, if you have any questions, you can always email me. You all have my email. You know, if you have an opportunity to ask your coach a question on, you know, at swimming too. Yeah.
good. Okay. So yeah, it's just a little bit over 45 minutes. So I guess, you know, if something come up, just throw it in the chat or send Coach Jackie an email. But other than that, thank you very much for coming on, and looking forward to seeing these.
Very excited for
the
these
very first meet.
New ones coming up always.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Great. Well, enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
Night.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.